Give it up for the troublemaker. And a really big thank you to Carol and Henry for putting this whole concert together. A big congratulations. Isn't this a wonderful way to spend an afternoon? My name is Aaron. I am the current president of the Well Prepared Foundation the Well Prepared Pianist Foundation that we just began. And can you imagine a world without a piano ensemble like this? I have another question. Can you imagine a world without technology and all we do is sit around and listen to music and do interesting things like talk to each other? When I think of Jane, I always have the same thought. A good teacher begins with an educator that makes their students feel like they're the only ones in the room. A good teacher knows that everyone can have talent if taught the right skills in the right way. You don't have to be born with it. And Jane Tan knew this deep down when she ventured into her retirement career, creating a program for the country that instructs the teachers exactly how to do this. The Well Prepared Pianist teaches artistry with beginning level pieces. You don't have to wait 10 years for lessons to learn how to play like a true artist. You're learning it from the first lesson. Even a small 5-year-old child can learn how to play that way. It's in the slow fingers, which help you predict the tones. This is why Jane chose Steinway, because of these pianos are the most responsive to that kind of colorful playing. No tricks, no flashes, no pomp and circumstance, just extremely comprehensive training, teaching the ins and outs, not just with music, but with music literacy behind it. Being from Los Angeles, that's where my hometown is, it's full of tricks and turns. And as the result, time and time again, we are musically illiterate students we see who, as adults, wish they never quit piano when they were young. Jane was also one of my mentors. I was so blessed to study with her. Jane grew up in the Philippines, very poor. That didn't stop her, though, from disturbing the lesson going on upstairs above her by imitating that teacher's instructions. Not overrun with multiple activities or technological distractions, Jane had her piano, where she would sit for hours every day figuring out how to produce every single tone, the beginning, the middle of the tone, and the ending of that tone. After Jane graduated from the university in the Philippines, she received all kinds of invitations to study with teachers around the world. However, those offers didn't cover her travel. And then she had a chance to audition for Leon Fleischer. Are we familiar with Leon Fleischer? He was the head of Peabody School of Music, and he was known before he passed away a few years ago during COVID as the best living pianist. And the only option was to win a Fulbright Hays Scholarship. Jane had prepared a huge array of complex pieces, Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto No. 1, Bach, the list goes on, but Leon didn't want to hear any of that. "I need you to play a Chopin Nocturne," Leon said. Jane replied, "I didn't prepare anything." That's my best Jane voice. I've worked on this over the years. And he said, that's okay. I know you know. Make up the notes if you have to. I just want to hear you play that. Out of 7 possible slots who auditioned for Leon that year, Jane earned her spot and that scholarship because of the way that she could produce the tones and that won her the full ride. Coupled with those early childhood years of studying each individual key and the artistry and slow pieces that so few studies properly instruct, much to Leon's disappointment, Jane decided not to concertize, believe it or not. She went to a non-prestigious university, Townsend State, and dedicated her life to teaching the next generation of pianists. Every year, she would listen to her students, and none of them could play. They had general knowledge of the piano, however, that didn't help them to know how to play tonally or to have that internal piano GPS, Jane would call it. Jane would take them back to the beginning and she would say, "You have to drink milk before you can eat meat." There's a list of Janeisms that people have written down over the years. Within teaching her students and children, her own children, Jane conceived the Well-Prepared Pianist. This is the most comprehensive program to help teachers know how to teach and to help students connect their ears, eyes, minds, and hands. She would call these the 4 partners. Each of her students at the time developed their own unique and beautiful tones. Jane was unlocking the secret, and in her retirement, created a legacy project to carry on her discoveries for future generations. So many teachers in our community who have their masters and doctorates in music still have no idea how to teach. And then there's the rest of us, like myself, flung into teaching at a ripe young age of 18 without the idea of where to start prior to learning the Well-Prepared Pianist. I think all the time, what did I do before the WPP? I actually know the answer, but I won't go into that. This singular program changed everything I thought about the piano and teaching, aside from changing my playing forever. This is a rough estimate, but 80% of piano students never graduate to Book 2 because they are stuck in position number 1. We cover the piano from day 1. That's in the first lesson. Jane, with the WPP and piano teams, changed that. In this program, the WPP, it's this program, the WPP, that awarded Jane the honor of being a Steinway artist. The only Steinway artist gaining that honor, not for concertizing, but for her pedagogical studies, because Steinway had never seen such a collection of young pianists paying attention to so many tones. But how do we build that piano security with their students and with their parents? In this world where everything is about artificial intelligence and TikTok crazes and delivery services, what kind of world will our children have before them? Hopefully they don't throw me to the wolves. Jane would say that we are developing a society to become a bunch of civilized barbarians, helping parents understand the importance behind their child's brain development while keeping everyone's, mainly the student's, interest is the hardest part. This starts with the earliest of training. Dumbing down the training to simple chords with written letters in each note only leads to the inevitable boredom, because behind a simple pop song, there are not often foundations to expand the mind further. It grossly misses many things, but one crucial concept in particular. The more students engage in their kinetic fingers, responding with their arms to produce tones that their ears enjoy, unlocks a literal neural fireworks show in their minds. Also, why assume our children can't understand complex ideas, even if not fully yet, for these skills to develop in the future? Can you imagine a world where no one can compute simple math? Almost. A world where members of society can't construct a simple sentence without the help of ChatGPT? And then can you imagine, I ask this again, a world without a piano ensemble? is this ingenious invention developed from Jane's teachings and her experience with her own children that keeps the students playing until college. Whether they grow up to be doctors or lawyers or the next gen of CEO tech moguls, the artistic foundation helps them beyond merely playing piano. It causes them to think organizationally, managerially, and what so many higher learning institutions are looking for creatively in their studies and future careers. One of my former students, Laird Flaming, I get to brag about this, who is the current director of marketing for a company called Petit Pot, went on to start the popsicle company, Johnny Pop, if anybody has heard of it. December 27th, 2024, Jane passed after a long struggle with Parkinson's. During her long struggle with the disease were many years that she had put her symptoms back into remission from her teaching, training, and playing. 2 years before Jane passed, she brought a group of teachers together. Tae-Ling is one of them in the audience, and for some final teachings in her home in Falls Church. There we all witnessed, as an octogenarian with Parkinson's, Jane played as magically as she had when she had graduated from Peabody, with such artistry and tone. Her hands would shake when she was talking. As soon as she hit the piano, her body instructed her what to do. I only wish I could hear her play again, or could call her up again, or ask her the questions I doubt myself with. Jane had an answer for everything. And I'll say that every time my piano team actually completes a piano piece for the first time and it sounds well, my eyes start to water. It's changing. Alas, we need all of your help. This means that I'm almost done with my speech and you guys can breathe again. The WPP was her retirement gift to the teachers and society, and right now we need a lot of help to sustain it for future generations. We have just filed for a 501c3 status and are asking everyone for donations, hopefully starting at $1,000. But we're not too shy to take any amount. And this will help us achieve a foundation that will continue Jane's legacy into perpetuity. No amount is too small, and we ask today that you open up your hearts and help us guide our program and keep our young children growing in ways they can barely imagine until they are there. If you are able to contribute, come talk to me. We have a newly formed bank account, the Well Prepared Pianist Foundation. We also have a QR code. Thank you for taking the time to let me speak to you all. And now, much more exciting, please, one more time, the Troublemakers.